What's up, witches?
What's up,
I'm
bitches?
Linda,
I'm John.
and this is Getting Witchy, and today we are talking about
The Aztecs, or more appropriately, what they called themselves were the Mexica.
the Mexica.
Mexica. And I had an interesting experience with a modern day, or at least someone that claimed to be.
Mm.
Now, that might have been in a Arizona jail. Yeah, that's a whole nother. We won't get into that.
Yeah, no.
His thing was the pride of the Mexica.
Mm.
He was a proud member of, so obviously it's some kind of a gang type of thing at this point, but proud member of and appreciative of his ancestral roots. Whether he actually did the research to find out anything or not,
Right.
He is of Mexican descent, so I'm sure probably a majority are descendants of both Mayan and Aztec, or both.
Mm.
So, anyway, but yeah, they are the Mexica, what we call the Aztecs. There's another name, Culhua Mexica.
Well,
But
would that not be Mexica?
or
Kuhua Mexica?
okay, yeah. The name Aztec comes from Europeans. I love how the history books have sugar-coated what the Spaniards fucking did. Like, it's all about, yes, the Europeans, the British, Irish, even though they were also victims of the British, but the British,
The Spaniards.
well, no, but European generally referred to Great Britain and the British Empire. At least in the books that I read, because it separated them. The conquest of North America, or what became America, was all on the British. Forget the fact that we bought the Louisiana Purchase was from the French, and then the whole, anyway. I'm just saying, I find it curious how they separate them when Spaniards were definitely Europeans. But they don't talk disparagingly about the Spaniards as much as they do the British. I mean, the Spaniards fucking wiped out the Aztecs. Granted, the Aztecs were ruthless, and they built their empire. So, if you do your research, and I know this is not what this is not a history lesson, but if you do any kind of research into the pantheon and life and religion of the group, you learn a lot. I did. Like, the Aztec nation was built on islands in the middle of fucking Mexico. Mexico City. It was all swamp. And there was an island there. Or a couple islands there, natural islands, and they built upon them and made it bigger. And it is part of what is now Mexico City. It's fascinating. But they were brutal. They were ruthless. They were bloodthirsty. They did a lot of human sacrificing, as well as animal. But the surrounding Aztec tribes that they had domineered got or grew tired of the centralized government dictating to them how they would do everything. Does that sound familiar? And joined with the Spaniards. If it were not for that, the Spaniards would not have beaten the Aztecs. Fun fact. Like, they were that badass. Without the help of the surrounding city-states that the Aztec had, or the centralized Aztec had overpowered and claimed dominion over. If it weren't for them joining with the Spaniards would have never won. And there is supposedly still a group that escaped the Spaniards. And they headed towards Aztlan, which is where they said they originally came from, which is where the name Aztec came from. Because they came from a land called Aztlan, which was definitely northern Mexico, but also southern America, which, well, not South America, but southern America, which
Southern
was
North
also
America.
Southern North America. But ironically, that was still Mexico. But we won't go there. That's a whole, again, the whole geography of who conquered what and dominated what. But an entire swath of North America, including California, Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, and Texas. That was the ancient Aztecs region of Aztlan, where they came from. Supposedly out of the ground.
Oh.
After a major calamity. And the ant people guided them through the calamity and saved them. But that's a whole nother conversation. So through alliances with neighboring states developed through both commerce and conquest, Tenochtitlan gained dominance over several hundred small city-states, which formed the first Aztec Empire, but those are the same fuckers that turned against the core Aztec Empire because they were just too ruthless and brutal. They apparently were also known as the
Tenochca.
Tenochca.
The Tenochca.
A name derived from the ancestor Tenoch. It's also the source of the name of the great Aztec city capital, Tenochtitlan. They like tit in their words. Tenochtitlan. Okay. See, it's good to have someone of Mexican descent that has a little better understanding of the little nuances of the way words are pronounced, which is on the site of the current day Mexico City, which they found what underneath the city? They found a whole fucking pyramid.
Oh.
And tomb. And I think this particular tomb, it had, just like the one in China, it had rivers of liquid mercury. Now that's not easy to make, even in today's science. That's not easy to make. So how do they have liquid mercury? But anyway, so just like with many other ancient cultures, the Aztec deities were closely associated with things and events important to their culture and community. These included gods of maize, again, just like the Mayan. Sorry,
right.
Took me a minute. as well as the rain to nourish it, fire and the hearth to cook it with, as well as all manner of gods to represent celestial bodies, geographical features, and meteorological events from the morning star to evening frost.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of gods, deities. Many of their gods were ancient deities worshipped by the cultures that preceded the Aztecs, but were adopted and adapted and assimilated into the Aztec Pantheon of gods and goddesses, which is interesting. So basically, there were people that survived whatever previous that carried some of their gods into the new, and then they mingled.
Well, because what better way to get them to assimilate than say, hey, you know what?
Well, I just find it like, because they had, just like the Mayans, they had ages. Like there were several ages where everything was wiped out, and we started anew.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm
Begin
shedding.
anew, always.
I had a nonprofit called Begin Anew. So, we have a lot. We are going to go through these quickly. I will get stuck on one, and you'll know which one it is. I am not even. I'm like Ahuiateotl. Otl is like Quetzalcoatl. I got the total. But the first part of it, Ahuiateotl.
Something like that. I don't know. I'm sorry.
A god, the god.
The god
of voluptuousness, and one of the also considered the aspect of, that's another thing.
Xochipilli.
They have, so many of these gods have multiple aspects to them. So
kind of like
they're multiple gods,
like the triple
multiple
goddess.
names. Yeah, but more than that. I mean, yes, there's the triple goddess in Irish lore and that, and Norse lore, but they don't necessarily get, like, each aspect of the triple goddess. The three don't have three different names. These mother lovers have 5 different names.
Okay.
So Ahuiateotl
alternatively
is known as
Xochipilli.
Xochipilli, but also look above it. One of the
Ahuiateteo.
Okay, so Xochipilli, or the Prince of Flowers, was the Mesoamerican god of summer, flowers, pleasure, love, dancing, painting, feasting, indulgence, creativity, and souls of all. Like, how do you just throw souls into all of that stuff?
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, like,
now he is what Xochipilli.
Xochipilli.
Social.
Exo is pronounced
Social. The original social media god.
No, Xochipilli.
He's a social media god.
Xochipilli.
Social media.
No.
I'm just saying. He's the original social media god. I mean, look what he was the god of. Flowers, pleasure, love, dancing, painting, feasting, indulgence, creativity, and so that's what people try to do on social media. Anyway, he is the benevolent manifestation of, say it. Yeah. Piltzintecuhtli. Piltzintecuhtli. Fuck. They had a lot of consonants.
A lot of syllables.
Who was also like the Piltsachulook was also the young sun god who was himself a manifestation of another god.
The supreme god of
Mesoamerica.
Supreme sun god of
Yeah.
Mesoamerica.
Tonatiuh. Yeah, the supreme sun god. So this one dude, Ahuatetu, had like 5 other gods associated to it. And that's just the beginning, folks. Now the Ahuatetu, that the first god that we mentioned
was a member of.
Is a group of 5 gods who embody the dangers of excess. Eating, drinking, and just
pleasures in general.
Yes. They each have a specific date in the annual calendar, all with a 5.
Which is a number associated with excess?
For them, yes. Yeah. Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, there are no 5s on my birthday, so whatever.
So they are Mekaluchikto, who is the most important of the 5. His specific calendar denomination is 5 flower. And then there's Makulik, like these freaking. The next one is 5 lizard. The next one is 5 vulture. The next one is 5 rabbit, and the next one is 5 grass. Now, the fact that, I mean, these kind of sound Asian, Chinese. Flower, lizard, 5 vulture,
yeah,
5
okay,
rabbit.
okay.
The rabbit especially, and the rabbit is a significant in excess because of the way they breed.
Mm-hmm.
In cases of excess, they can deliver misfortune and disease. Oh. No comment. The next one.
Atlatonin.
An earth and water goddess. Now, Atlantonin, it's spelled Atlatonan. Atlatonin.
Sounds a lot like Atlantean.
Atlantean.
But
It's the only god with a name like that. They all are. They end with a TL or TLI, TLO, something like that. But this is the only one that is Atlantonin. And I find interesting because of the Atlantean, like if
that
you...
it's an earth and a water goddess?
And yeah, it's an earth and water goddess. As if the being came out of the water. I just find that very curious. Kamaxtil, Lord of the Chase, a god of the hunt. What?
Kamaxli.
Okay. You know what? Do you want to just pronounce them?
No. But I'm just saying Kamaxli.
Okay. Mixcoatl.
Yeah.
Translates as the cloud serpent. And was also associated with hunting, the Milky Way, and the stars and heavens.
The candy bar?
It is believed or thought that he may have originally been a deified hunter and warrior leader of the Toltec peoples of Central America that were before the Aztec.
Oh. What?
Sintotl? Teotl? Sinteotl?
Syntheodal.
Okay.
Black.
Sacred maize, the god of maize and the late ripening maize, to be specific, was the son of Tochi, and associated with the 4th month of whatever year that it looks like Huey Lewis in the news. Huey, therefore the Huey. Tozoztli. Again, everything has a He was the fourth of the 9 lords of the night. There's another thing. They have 9 lords of the night. Then they have also, I think, something of the moon too, like the 9 lords.
This is making my brain hurt. So next we have Senson Mimixcoa.
The 400 northern stars. Yeah. Counterparts of the
Senson
that sounds kind of Chinese too, does it not?
Well, so does Chihuahua, but
And associated with the Milky Way again. Then the next one, Setchon Tetochin. 400 rabbit gods.
Why do you need that many rabbit gods?
The humble beginnings of tequila. There's nothing humble about tequila.
The 400 rabbit gods. Okay.
And drunkenness.
But why do you need that many rabbit gods? Why do you need any rabbit gods?
I would assume, if you not read the Bible, the gods fuck like rabbits.
In the Bible?
Nephilim?
Okay, those were angels mating with humans.
We considered them gods. At the time, the human race considered them gods.
But why?
Anyway, the fuck? And I mean no disrespect to the Aztec and Mexican peoples. I'm a white dude trying to pronounce a word this fucking long.
CHALCHUI. Sorry, IUHTECOLOTOL.
Somebody out there is going, oh yeah, you just.
Oh yeah,
whatever.
You just.
Yeah. So this translates as, and that's the thing is, like all of these names.
Precious owl.
All of these names actually translate into something specific. So, and this one translates as precious owl, and is the god of the night and the black aspect of
Tezcatlipoca.
Yeah, which I don't even think.
It's next.
About it next. And that translates as smoking mirror
in Nahuatl,
which is a language prior to. He was one of the most important gods in post-classical Mesoamerican culture, and particularly important for the Toltecs, again. And the Aztecs.
Mexicas.
He was an invisible and omnipotent creator god, patron deity of warriors, and as the bringer of both good and evil, he was the very embodiment of change through conflict.
Ooh.
Often considered the supreme god of the Aztec Pantheon, he took on a bewildering array of names and manifestations depending on where and by whom he was worshipped. He was the 10th of the 13 lords of the day.
So you have
13 gods of the day. But he was the supreme. He was the 10th of the 13th, but he was the supreme deity. He would be the first. But okay. Anyway.
Well, unless it was like the whole Zeus thing where he was actually the youngest brother but was the strongest. But
yeah,
whatever.
We have a lot more to go.
Yeah. Chalchutlaque.
The goddess of the sea, rivers, lakes, and springs, associated with the day serpent and Trecina, one, which is part of their calendar. Whenever there's a name, what I've found is whenever there's a name and a number, that's part of their calendar. Trecina 1 Reed. She is third of the 13 lords of day and sixth of the 9 lords of night.
So you
the Gulf of Mexico was known as the waters of Hurley. Yeah. There's a turkey god.
Quetzalcoatlin.
which is another aspect of
Tezcatlipoca.
And deity of the night and mystery.
Precious turkey.
Patron of the day,
Tecatl.
and apparent and the flint knife.
The flint knife.
Yeah, which I know they had the obsidian blades, but okay. Chantico, goddess of the hearth fire and patron of metalworkers, especially goldsmiths. Also known as
Quaxalotl.
Also known as Tlatlak.
Tlaloc.
Tlaloc.
The god we should be praying to right now.
The god of rain. Yeah, we need some fucking rain. It's been looking like it's going to rain for 2 days. It's been a full moon, and now, the full moon is gone, but there's been no fucking rain. It's just dust. Anyway, the god of rain, also a deity of earthly fertility and water, worshipped as a giver of life and sustenance. This came to be due to many rituals and sacrifices that were held in his name. He was feared, but not maliciously, for his power over hail, thunder, lightning, and even rain.
So it was more like he was respected, not necessarily
Feared, right.
So what? Quaddle?
One of a number of motherhood and fertility goddesses, sometimes known as Quillatzli,
Yeah.
or no, that's the same name.
Quaddle.
Was especially associated with midwives and with
Sweat
sweat
lodges.
lodges, where midwives practiced.
It's what?
Hey, I don't know. Tonatiuh, an Aztec sun deity of the daytime sky, obviously being the sun, who rules the cardinal direction of east. According to Aztec mythology, Tonatiuh was known as the fifth sun and was given a calendar name of Naui Olin, which means four movement.
Xochitl.
Xochitl, also known as Ipachicli or Nahuatl. Nahuatl, which would be a precursor of Aztec because the Nahuatl language.
Well, didn't we just have Nahuatl a minute ago?
No. We talked about Nahuatl, the language.
Okay, well, yeah. Xochitl, also known as Xochipoctli,
Meaning maiden.
Nahuatl.
Was a goddess associated with fertility, beauty, and love, serving as protector of young mothers and the patroness of pregnancy, childbirth, and the crafts practiced by women, such as weaving and embroidery.
Huitzilopochtli.
That sounds like some hot chili. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Solar and war deity. See, it's hot. A solar and war deity, yes, spicy. Of sacrifice in the Aztec religion.
Oh.
He was also the patron god of their capital city, Tenochtitlan. He wielded
Xucotl,
the fire serpent, as a weapon.
As a weapon?
Interesting.
A fire serpent as a weapon?
Interesting. Thus also associating him with fire. The Spaniards recorded the deity's name as Huitzilopochtli.
Huitzilopochtli.
Which was the wife of Mitzicotl, also known as Tetuaenan, is the Aztec goddess who gave birth to the moon, stars, and another god, the god of war. The goddess Tochi, our grandmother, and Kiwakoro, snake woman, again with the serpent. Interesting. The patron of women who die in childbirth were also seen as aspects of. So there's like 3 different goddesses there in one. 3 or 4. And the wife of Mitzcoatl. Solado, god of fire and lightning, commonly depicted as a dog-headed man who guided the souls of the dead. What does that sound like in Egyptian?
Anubis.
Almost, I mean, the exact carbon copy. He was dog-headed, and he guided the souls of the dead.
He was jackal-headed, but
it's a jackal is a dog.
Okay.
Also, the god of twins, monsters, death, misfortune, sickness, and deformity. Okay.
Sounds like he drew the short stick.
No, or the best stick. This one kind of reminds me of Olmec.
Ometeotl?
Name used to refer to a pair of Aztec deities. That both of their names start O-M-E.
Ometeotli Omesiswaddle?
So it translates as two or dual in Nahuatl.
In
Nahuatl and Teotl translates as gods. So they are twin gods or a pair of gods. They were part of the Aztec creator deities that formed of both parts. What?
Formed of both parts.
Yeah. What?
Yeah. Formed of both parts.
Well, that's the thing, though. The gods were male or female or both. I mean, or either. They could change up. Unisex. I should be careful. That'll be the next. Sorry, let me shut up. Sinzon. Totochin. The 400 rabbit gods of Polek and drunkenness, they are the offspring of
Mayawo and Patakatl.
Also known as the
Akli deities.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not even. Tepe Yolotl. Okay. God of darkened caves, earthquakes, echoes, and jaguars. He is the god
of darkened caves?
Yeah. God of dark caves. He is the god of the 8th hour of the night and is depicted as a jaguar leaping towards the sun. In the calendar, Tepeohuatl rules over both the 3rd day, Kali, and the 3rd Tresena, one Matzal.
One Matzal. Tepeohuatl.
A variant of another god and is associated with mountains. And then there's Ehecatl, a pre-Columbian deity associated with wind and air who features in Aztec mythology and the mythologies of other cultures from the central Mexico region of Mesoamerica. So, if you didn't grasp the magnitude with which their pantheons in Central America are and how interwoven they are, then you weren't paying attention. It's fascinating. It's mind-blowing. It's interesting. Atlanan.
Yes.
Atlanan. That was her name. She was the goddess Atlanan.
Of water and earth.
Of water and earth. And there are other stories around the world of beings that claimed to or had names that would associate them with Atlantis. It just, that one sticks out. That one, and there was another one later, but yeah, it's fascinating. And mind-blowing at the same time. Like, some of their they have some pretty wild stories of things that happened, and like when they talk about the feathered serpent, Quetzalcoatl, or because that god was called both things, depending on, it's Quetzalcoatl and Quetzalcoatl. A feathered serpent that came down to the earth,
right,
with fire and smoke and rumbling and
depending on the pantheon. It's for the Aztec, if I remember correctly, it was Quetzalcoatl. For the Mayans, I think it was Kukulkan.
Yes, but it's the same god.
Right.
It's a feathered serpent, and again, fire, smoke, rumbling,
descending from the sky. But anyway, we hope you've enjoyed this. We certainly have. Our next one will be the Hindu?
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to do all of it. Just, there's no way.
No.
Just like with this was not even half. Okay? We didn't give you a number of gods for the Aztec, but of the list that I had, that was only about half of them. And my list wasn't complete either. So, I mean, because there's the 400 rabbits, and each
Right.
one of them is a god of in its own right.
Right.
It wasn't just the group that there was the individual that was part of that group.
Right. So in our Pantheon series, we have, 2 left?
That's it.
We have the Hindus and the Sumerians left. The Hindus are going to be next.
Yes. Sumerians is going to take some time. That's not going to be...
That's going to be a lot to take in. But again, these episodes are basically just to give you a taste of each pantheon, so that if there is something that speaks to you, you can do a deeper dive on your own.
Recommend that you do.
Yes, definitely.
Bring a floaty. I'm serious.
A life jacket.
Especially when we get into the Sumerian, like there are not very many. There is a king's list for the Egyptian kings, which is pretty crazy in and of itself. But the king's list in the Sumerian lore, and it's not even lore, it's there. It was a tablet that was found that lists all of the kings that they have had, and some of them had like 40,000 year reigns. One king reigned for 40,000 years, or 28,000 years, or 100,000 years. Like, how the fuck? I find that fascinating. And,
Yes.
of course, some people say, oh, they were just writing fiction. Why would they?
But back then, the only time they ever wrote something down was if it was important.
Right. Like, you had to take a
It's
piece
not
of
like
clay.
today.
You had to take a piece of clay and get it to the right shape, to where that you could start inscribing on it, and then they would bake it. It was a royalty thing. Like,
Right.
the royals demanded that you keep a record.
Right. It wasn't like today where you can just write anything down on a piece of paper.
Yeah, this wasn't fucking. This wasn't a Stephen King novel. Like, they wrote their history.
Right.
So the Sumerian one is going to take us a little bit longer than some of the others.
We might have other episodes kind of mixed in, just like with Litha. We mixed that in.
Hope you guys had a great Litha and a happy Father's Day.
Yes, and good full moon.
Yeah, which is now over.
Yeah. But with among those two, somewhere there's probably going to be other stuff, like
Yeah, and we're
spells.
also moving.
Yeah, we're moving.
We found a place that we're not going to talk about.
No,
We're just going to submit the paperwork for
Yep.
it. But yeah,
we like it. That's all that matters.
yeah. But either way, whether this place happened, well, it will.
It will.
But
happen.
either way, we're moving. So the background may be a little bit different, but you're
Yes.
still going to have that there.
Yeah.
But we love you. Hope you've enjoyed this and found it at least
Somewhat educational and fascinating.
and entertaining.
Yes.
Peace out, witches.
Peace out. We love you.